bnptv reporting from outside Blackpool Magistrate Court in Lancashire. We're here today because today Robert Downes is being sentenced for assaulting Mohammed Ravishi. Now, many people believe that this case should never have been brought to court, and they believe this because Robert has been subject to unreasonable provocation. Now, those unaware of the legal defence of unreasonable provocation could maybe take note of the example set by the case of John Prescott. When John Prescott was Deputy Prime Minister, he was campaigning one day in a town in southern England when a campaigner threw an egg at him. John Prescott acted instantaneously. He swirled around and thumped the protester a number of times around the face. Now, the authorities argued that John Prescott had been subject to unreasonable provocation, and in the circumstances his reaction was understandable and justifiable, and therefore they would not be bringing a legal case against him. Now, the provocation experienced by Robert Downes, indeed by the entire Downes family, is of a magnitude many, many thousand times worse than having an egg thrown at you. And just to remind the viewers of that provocation, to be worthwhile if we just go through a few of the details. 4 years ago, Mr. Mohammed Ravishi, the man Robert Downes thumped, was stood in a court alongside his co-accused, another Muslim gentleman, and they were on trial for the murder of Robert Downes' 14-year-old sister. Now, despite the fact that there was overwhelming evidence to sustain this prosecution, evidence that has convinced virtually everybody who is familiar with the case, certainly the Downes family, that these two Muslim gentlemen are responsible for the murder of Charlene. Unfortunately, the case collapsed. And the case collapsed because the prosecution team had failed to construct their case properly. And so for the last 4 years, the Downes family have had to endure the sight of Mr. Ravishi, and they only live 100 yards away from him, walking the street, the man they are convinced of abusing and then brutally murdering their daughter Charlene. But not only have they had to experience this, the sight of the man that they believe murdered their beloved daughter walking the streets, they have to endure a lot of dark and swirling stories that surround this case. Firstly, it has transpired that the Lancashire police actually hid a report which had been conducted 5 years earlier into a Muslim paedophile gang that has been operating in Blackpool, a Muslim paedophile gang to which the two accused were intimately linked, and which were accused of committing assault and rape on at least 60 young girls, some as young as 11. And that report was hushed up. Further evidence has transpired which fuels these suspicions about the case, because the officer in charge of the investigation was subject to an internal inquiry by the PCC, which led directly to her being forced to resign. And many people believe that the case collapsed. The incompetence was not just incompetence, but some people suspect that the case had been deliberately sabotaged and that bribery and corruption took place behind the scenes. And then, to add insult to injury, the slick defence counsel for the two accused mounted a case seeking compensation for their two clients. And unfortunately, they were successful. They managed to win a massive £250,000 each for their clients, and no doubt a large amount of cost for themselves. So the Downs family have had to endure the sight of the people they believe murdered and abused their beloved daughter, driving around in swanky cars paid for by the British taxpayer. What greater provocation could there be? So one day when Robert is walking home from his sister's, and he comes across Mr. Ravishi in the street, he just saw red, and momentarily blacked out and thumped Mr. Ravishi only once. He then withdrew. And yet, the Crown Prosecution Service, which is headed up by a Muslim, the Lancashire Crown Prosecution Service is headed up by a Muslim, have been enthusiastic in their pursuit of the Downs family. Some people believe just to blacken their names, to prosecute the Downs family for assault, but they fail despite constant requests to mount a retrial against the two Muslim paedophiles, despite all the evidence, despite this report that now links them to the paedophile gang. The Muslim Chief Prosecutor of Lancashire is refusing to mount a retrial. Now, we'll go across to the court, have a word with Karen, and discover what the court has decided with regards to Robert. Now, Karen, as Robert's mother,
yes,
I believe you're very relieved at today's verdict. Would you care to explain to our viewers what happened in the court today?
Well, in the court today, I was very, very relieved. Robert got a 12 months community order, which is going to
supervision order.
A supervision order from probation, and he also got £87 court costs, which is an absolute relief.
At least no fines to them.
At least he never got any compensation, the scumbag, so that's really, really good from our point of view. But really, I still believe that Robert should never have been charged with this offence because he was provoked.
Yeah,
he should have got a medal. Good for you, Robert. Good on you, mate.
Mr. Ravishi attempted to claim compensation, did he?
Yeah.
He did, yeah. He did claim
scumbag, mate.
Scumbag, but he hasn't got compensation. The judge dismissed it, so I was absolutely relieved that he never got any money. He's had enough blood money as it is without any more.
Many people will agree.
Blood money,
yes.
blood money.
Blood money.
£250,000 between them. So,
Each,
you know what I mean?
Each. They got that each.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
Now, I'd just like to introduce your sister to the viewers. I believe you have been subject to considerable provocation from these Muslim people.
I have, yeah.
Would you explain to the viewers?
Yeah, I was in a nightclub on a staff night out, and they come up to me and started laughing in my face like they got one over on me and my family. So I took my stiletto off and clapped in one with it, and then I got done, sent to Crown Court, saying I said racial aggravated assault. We said according to my packy when it's a sweaty Arab, don't make sense. I said if you're going to get me done for racial, get it right. So I didn't say it, sent me to court, nearly went to jail, but lucky enough the judge seen he was lying through his teeth like he lied about killing my sister, and
He got acquitted.
I got acquitted, so I just got 70 hours unpaid work for it, but really they should have.
You should have got a medal too.
Yeah, I should have got a medal too for doing it. At the end of the day, they killed my sister, so I was only repaying back the favour of a fraction of anger.
I believe they've been used abusive language to
Oh yeah, and I was
gestures
also
on the street.
Yeah, I was heavily pregnant with my son, and he drove past me doing hand signals like "you're dead," pointing the finger. So I've gone to the police station and said, "Listen, I'm getting intimidated by this man," and they just laughed in my face, saying, "I find it very hard to believe that I get intimidated because I've got previous for being drunk and a bit abusive to the police." And as I took matters into my own hands, and he did it again, and so I've hit him, and then I've got arrested. So when I'm going to the police saying, "Can you help me?" they're laughing in my face, and then when I take matters into my own hands, it just starts getting in trouble for it. So where's the justice in that? There's nothing, is there? So
many people will consider that unfair provocation.
Yeah.
Back to you, Karen.
Yes.
Now, have any member of the police or any local politician come to you with apologies or offers of help or support?
Nothing.
None of the police force have ever offered us any help. They've never even apologised. The only way we got an apology was through the paper. Oh, we've apologised to the Downs family. The only wonderful man The only wonderful politician to give us any help was Nick Griffin. He's the only one that's came to our aid, and obviously the English Defence League and the Casuals United are the only ones. But as Parliament goes and politicians,
the police
Nick
are
Griffin
more
has been the only
useless
one.
as a chocolate teapot, I'm telling you. Yeah.
I think many people would agree with it. When it comes to defending
Yeah.
the indigenous people of this country,
Yes.
anyway.
You can't be asked for the paperwork, that's what it is, mate.
They're embarrassed that they messed my sister's case up.
Can I say this, right? The police, like I say, stand, like I said, for one reason and one reason only, yeah? Right? Justice for what? Right? If you hit, like say, a nation, like say, guy, yeah? We get, like say, done for it. A nation, like say, hits us, they don't get done for it, yeah? Right? I'm gonna, right, quote me on this one. Are the police scared? Are the police scared? Of course they're scared, yeah?
Scared of the race
Right?
car.
Yeah, no, they're scared, yeah? Because, right? They, right? Enoch Powell, mentioned Enoch Powell,
Yeah.
right? He had the right idea. Don't let them in. They're in here now, they're trying to take over, right? 2 world wars, they didn't fight, like I said, just to let like England go. We're not going to let it go.
Thank you.
Could my friend Richard have a
Richard,
few?
yes.
Thank you.
Hello, Patriots. I would like to say I'm really pleased with the result anyway, and I would send a clear message to Ayad Al-Batiki and Mohammed Riveshe. Stop provoking people for compensation because you're not going to get any more, because the police are fed up with you and the public are fed up with you, because all you're after is easy money. And I would like to praise the justice that's been done today, and also leave our young girls alone, because we will protect them if we have to come out and do so.
Right. This is bnptv closing in outside Blackpool Magistrate Court. But before we go, I'd just like to remind our viewers that on the 25th of March there will be a service in memory of Charlene held at a Blackpool church. Now the details will be on the website closer to the event. And I'd just like to close with one question to Karen.
Yes.
Will you ever stop pursuing justice for Charlene?
Never, ever.
Ever. Till my dying day.
Yeah, if it takes me the rest of my dying day, I will fight for her too. We want justice, and I will fight for the rest of my life.
Carry on.
I don't think we need to say any more. Thank you very much.
Thank you.